What photograph do you consider the greatest in history? Zbigniew Religa, after first 24 hours heart transplant operation. East German soldier Konrad Schumann, defecting to West by jumping over the Berlin Wall when it was only barbed wire. This happened on the third day of its construction, and the picture became a symbol for the Cold War. I have yet to see a photograph that can top this one. Surprised nobody has suggested the blue marble yet. It's NASA's most popular image in the entire archive and is credited with helping to kick off the environmental movement. Your like and subscription will really help my channel. I'd say that Tank Man is one of the most iconic. Here is a different angle from a moment or two before the iconic photo most people are familiar with. Tank Man is in the top left. I like this a lot. It's so everyday, and the people in the foreground have no idea that a timeless act of courage is about to take place that will be seen worldwide. This photograph of, presumably, the last Atlas lion, and the photo of the last male northern white rhino with his keeper weeping. It's two photographs, but together they tell a story. Here is Joseph Goebbels at the 1933 League of Nations. Here he is a few minutes later, after finding out the photographer was Jewish. The photographer was Alfred Eisenstadt, who also took the famous VJ Day in Times Square picture, and was still working in his 90s. The photo of an atom was pretty incredible. This isn't quite a photo of an atom. The visible part is many trillions of trillions times bigger than the atom itself. You are seeing a long exposure of many photons emitted from the atom itself, so that dot is not anything like the size it is in real life. I have heard it is something like 50 quintillion times smaller than that. Nagasaki from ground level. Prepare to meet thy God. A bomb disposal expert walks to defuse a potential explosive device in Northern Ireland, 1970. Everything went well. Another one from Northern Ireland. The car in the picture was mined and soon exploded, taking the lives of 29 people. The man and child in this picture survived. Saturn. The Earth is visible too. The bright spot on the left, that's us. This is the modern equivalent of the pale blue dot. I'll modestly brag, in this photo are my parents. Art installation, 9,000 bodies etched into the sand in Normandy to remember the lives lost on D-Day. I really like this one picture where workers in New York are doing construction on a skyscraper, and they're all sitting on this giant steel beam that's just hanging hundreds of feet in the air. It's called Lunch Atop a Skyscraper. Although this is a staged photo, it shows the transition from the Great Depression to the new era of rapid construction. For me, it's this picture of a nuclear blast a fraction of a second after it detonated by Harold Eugene Egerton. I've a soft spot for this picture of an American Civil War veteran posing with a military jet. It really shows the incredibly progress made in the space of a lifetime, how one man could go from a battlefield on which muskets and cannon won the day to a world of rockets, missiles, and supersonic aircraft. And there he is, touching a jet. Pillars of creation, clusters of interstellar gas and dust in the Eagle Nebula, approximately 7,000 light-years from Earth, first photographed by the Hubble Space Telescope in 1995. This D-Day photo is pretty unbelievable. It doesn't feel like a world in which something so epic could take place exists any longer. The photo of Bruce McCandless floating untethered in space. That is really terrifying. Imagine skydiving and the chute fails, but instead of having a couple of minutes to contemplate your fate as the ground rapidly approaches, you have hours as you slowly drift off into space, wondering whether your suit radio will go before your oxygen does, knowing there's nothing you can do but watch everything every other human has ever known drift away from you for all eternity. Big J. McNeely, Los Angeles Olympic Auditorium, 1951 by Bob Willoughby. German soldiers react to footage of concentration camps. The Allies' policy of denazification included a form of rehabilitation where German soldiers were forced to watch a film about a concentration camp. Turning the camera from the footage onto the audience, you need only look at their faces to feel their grief and shame. I see it as a testament to our humanity, and that even those who have done the most heinous things don't have to be unreachable. For me, it's a hopeful picture that we can be better. The first Hubble Deep Field. Context for anyone who doesn't know what the deep field is. Back in the day, NASA asked, "Hey, what do you reckon is out there where there's no stars?" So to answer this, they pointed the Hubble telescope at a spot in the night sky where nothing was visible. No stars, no galaxies, no nothing. But instead of Hubble giving us an image of darkness and emptiness, it beamed back that. That is what is all around us. Pick a tiny speck of the night sky between any two stars and zoom in far enough, and this is what you see. Galaxies, thousands of them, stretching off into infinity. Every speck of light in that image is a new galaxy, comprising millions to billions of stars. Man who refused Nazi salute, August Landmesser. August Landmesser was a worker in Hamburg, Germany. He is known as the possible identity of a man appearing in a 1936 photograph, conspicuously refusing to perform the Nazi salute with the other workers. Landmesser had run afoul of the Nazi Party over his unlawful relationship with Irma Eckler, a Jewish woman. He was later imprisoned and eventually drafted into penal military service, where he was killed in action. Eckler was sent to a concentration camp where she was presumably killed. Your like and subscription will really help my channel. Thanks a lot for the donations.